What's the difference between traditional classroom and flipped or blended classroom, for example? Is the ability of us to give the power shifted towards the students, so the students are able to be more engaged. Not only that, but is to enhance their learning process.
I think that a lot of us hear terms like blended and flipped classrooms, or blended learning and flipped classrooms, but many of us don't really know the difference between those. Is there a big difference?
Yes, that's a very important question, Mark. Thanks for asking that. Let me distinguish, despite the fact that there are some overlaps between the term flipped classroom and blended learning approach, let me give you some distinctive differences. Let me touch on flipped classroom. So in a flipped classroom, you shift the entire contents that you intend to teach in that particular lesson outside the classroom. So for example, that contents can be in animated videos, the contents could be partially in articles, for example. Now, so they actually do an online lecture, perhaps nearly to that, outside the classroom. And when they come to the classroom, we actually have applied activities. We have dialogues, interactivity. We don't repeat the contents, right, of the lecture in the classroom. So that is for flipped classroom. So when we move to blended learning approach, what happens here is that you still want to do a traditional kind of lecture to a certain extent in the classroom, but you supplement, right? You supplement your lecture, right? Of perhaps maybe you want to do a 3/4, 50% of the lecture, but supplement, right, of whatever you're going to do outside the classroom, right? For example, specifically, you want to touch on a very complex concept of an X theory. And you know very well that you may not have the bandwidth to explain, because once you start explaining it, you may take at length, and that may overarch into other concepts. So you want them to have a reading, for example, a succinct reading of half a page, or perhaps a video that enables them to visualize before the classroom. That is going to help that educator or teacher in the classroom very well, because when the students come into the classroom, you kind of level them up at a higher level, and then you kind of progress very fast. So that's the distinctive difference, if I may put across, by and large.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a clear distinction, isn't it, between the two? Thank you.